Hi there, good morning, and it's Thursday, and Thursdays are hashtag Deck the Year 2025 hosted at Penny's Crafty Creations, again, Thursdays. And so I love to make these artist trading cards. Some of them turn out much better than others. And in addition to that, I'm having my lunch because it is now 1 o'clock. So I'm having toasted whole grain with some tuna fish that has mayonnaise, celery, onions, and pickle relish. And, oh, my Coke is across the room. Hold on. Here we go. So I'm not sure about these cups. It makes my Coke evaporate. No, I'm joking. So, okay, I have an artist trading card. It's not my finest work, I'll tell you what. Let me tell you this first. I went to that foot doctor appointment this morning. That was a hoot. Okay, I downloaded, printed, and did 4 pages front and back of, information for them. From have I ever had a surgery, what kind of surgery, to what's my partner's name, and am I married, and all rheumatoid arthritis, you got, whatever. You know how it is. I proudly presented that upon my appointment, and she handed me it looks like a kid's toy. I can't think of the names of them, but you can play computer games on it and stuff. And she goes, "Oh, we don't do that anymore. Here you go. You can do it here." So I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm not very good with technology," and I'm not. It's an iPad. That's what she handed me, but it was real colorful like a kid's. Anyway, she goes, "All right, well, if you can't do it, I can come help you." And it was downhill from there with her and I. She was just not a happy camper. So I go through the whole thing, and I get it done. I'm pretty proud of myself because I get it all done. And then it starts asking these weird questions, like, I'm not making this up. How many sexual partners have you had in the last, I don't know what it said, 10 years or something? 2 to 9, 10 to 20, whatever. And it gave all these. And my answer to that was, really? I went back up there and I said, "Hey, I think I got it. I did it all by myself." I answered all of the questions except that one there about how many sexual partners. And I'm thinking, you don't need to have that information. And she said, "And that's why I said that you don't have to write down anything you don't want to." And I said, and that's why I said, I'm very hard of hearing, and reminded her that I had said that. And so I don't hear everything unless you are looking at me and I am looking at you, because I can read your lips too. Anyway, she was just nasty to everybody, in my opinion, that came and went. That being said, the nurse in the back and the doctor that I saw were amazing. They were personable, they were sweet, they were knowledgeable, they were, they did things quickly, blah, blah, blah. So, whether I go back or not, I don't know. I need to get rid of her. People at reception desks seem to have problems with me. Maybe just me. Okay, so here's that card. So it's supposed to be a camping trip. Yeah. So I took the moon off of one of my planner things, and I took this tree. I cut it off the back of something. I can't remember what. And I thought, oh, someday I'll use that. This and this and this were a kit, a camping kit, and there's more of it. Where is it? Oh, here we go. There's still a marshmallow and 2 cups and a guitar. So I used the coffee pot on the fire, which it just doesn't look right, but oh well. And then I took this off of just a sheet of stickers of, these guys, dragonflies. My nails are just falling apart. Anyway, that's that, and it's all glued on, and I am, not my worst, not my best. What I thought was odd was this lifts up, and I thought, what's in there? Could put a bear in there, I guess. What else was I going to say? Oh, about my foot, the whole reason I went. He said, so I had an x-ray, and three x-rays on that foot. And he said, you said you felt a pop and you heard a pop. And I said, yeah. He goes, you heard it. And I said, I don't know if it was audible or if I just heard it in my head, but somehow I heard pop. And he said, okay. And he said, have you ever heard of plantar fasciitis? And I said, yeah, I've heard of that before. It's terrible. I mean, who has that, He goes, you don't anymore. That was what popped. He said, when people have chronic plantar fasciitis, they go into surgery and they snip it so that it no longer tightens up on them like that. It just, it's fine. He said, you saved yourself some money, time, and pain and grief. I don't know about that. I was laid up for weeks. I don't know how many of you remember I was on a walker. Anyway, I'm better now. He said, and how many times have you broken your ankle? And I said, never. And he said, there's one healed. There's one healed. So I apparently have broken my ankle 3 times, he says. I'm pointing at the breaks. Anyway, the treatment given is don't come back unless you have problems. And here, let me take this. Get these things and put them in your shoes. He said, Amazon. Superfeet, all-purpose support, high arch insoles. And I bet that feels good because my Birkenstocks feel good because there's a high arch in those. Okay, I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you, Penny, for letting me babble all about my day during your Deck the Year 2025. I'm so happy to be here. Bye, everybody.